Talks today. We're doing something a little bit different. We're coming to you from Bikram Yoga in Ascot Vale, and we're joined by Bridget, who's going to talk with us a little bit about Bikram Yoga. We're going to debunk some myths, and we're going to get down and diggy with it on the floor. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
We want to know, well, Lola is a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan. Can I say Bridget is my all-time favourite teacher.
Everyone else on record for that. We've had to peel them off each other to camera. But I want to sort of, you know, dispel a few of those myths about, you know, people, especially with Bikram Yoga.
It's hot too. A lot of people think, oh, am I going to faint?
Scary, yeah.
You know, am I allowed to drink? Can you take drinks in? I think there's so many things about it. What do I wear? Like, do I wear bathers? Like, no, but I mean, it does, but it's up to you. It's totally confusing, and you know, not confusing, but until you get in the hot room, you know, you just kind of like, you don't know. I know before I practiced, I've been practicing for 2 years now, but before that I was like, oh no, like hippie, well now I'm like total hippie, but like, you know, I was like, no, that's for other people, but it's actually I find such a cardio and strength kind of workout.
Yeah, absolutely. Strength and flexibility are the two big things, like all types of yoga, but Bikram especially, the heat really facilitates the flexibility, you know, thins your blood, you can work much deeper into the postures, more quickly, I guess, than in a cooler room.
Okay, cool. So where did Bikram Yoga eventuate?
So Bikram's a man. Bikram is still alive. He is a man. He is still alive.
And
yes.
Does he wear gold bathers or something?
He wears black little speedos. I was talking about that in class yesterday. Yes.
Yes, I know exactly who he is as well.
Yeah.
Bikram was like a deity, like an Indian.
He is a man. Bikram Choudhury is a man. He's in his mid-60s. There's a bit of contention about how old he actually is, but somewhere in his mid-60s, and he put this sequence together quite a number of years ago. So he studied under Bishnu Ghosh in his college in India, in Calcutta. And so in Australia, we've been out here about 15 years probably. And yeah, he's put together a sequence, 26 postures, but he is a man, he is still alive. He takes all the teacher training, you go over there, you train for 9 weeks.
So did you do that? Did you go and train with him?
Yes,
amazing. Fabulous.
Yes, 9 weeks in the guru himself.
I've got
goosebumps. He's pretty funny too, isn't he?
He's very funny.
He makes you stay up all night and watch Bollywood movies.
Yes, we've seen a lot of Bollywood movies, in our 9 weeks, yes.
Now, question for people, because there's hot yoga and there's warm yoga and there's power flow, there's so many different types of yoga. How is Bikram different to other hot yogas?
So Bikram, from my understanding of the other hot yogas, Bikram is probably the hottest. So we set the room at 40 degrees and 40% humidity. So it is a bit warmer than your general hot yogas, and it's the same sequence each time you come in. So they're probably the two big differences from your other hot yogas. You know what to expect. You can go anywhere in the world and you get the same 26 postures, 2 breathing exercises, 40 degrees, 105 in America, and 40% humidity. So
it's so nice to do. I don't know if you've tried it with our viewers at home, but it's really...
Do it. If you haven't, do it.
Absolutely.
Trust
me.
me.
I never have, and I'm really excited now. I'm really excited.
I was saying to Bridget earlier, the first class you do, you're like, what am I doing?
Why am I here?
Sweating. Second class, you're like, why am I here again? And the third class, you're like, I actually feel better, and that's the thing. Yeah. And we often talk about, like, as health nuts, it's about feeling like and being the best version of yourself, and that's where, for me, yoga is, you know, like actually right now I'm totally living my bliss because I'm meshing two passions together, and that is filming, spreading a cool word to you guys, but also with yoga. Yoga is like, it's like the magic key, and someone once said to me, yoga finds you.
Right.
You know, so this might be the catalyst for some people to, you know, try it out. And there's that really good deal with the 10 days. It's
yes, so all the studios do 10 days for $19, $20, whatever it is.
Wow.
So you can try it out. It's $19, it's nothing.
Yeah, I think the other thing for people to realise is that it doesn't have to be something, it's just whatever it is for themselves. Like, and there's this idea that yoga's, you know, this woo-woo practice.
And elitist.
But it's whatever it is for you. It doesn't have to be anything other than, you know, coming, getting yourself, you know, bendy and moving, and if that's all you want it to be. Whereas for some people it's quite something else. It's quite an inward spiritual thing. So it's whatever.
Well, there's some poses, especially I was saying to Bridget earlier, because I stopped practicing for 6 months because I went through a really feral breakup, and I was like, Bridget, every time I do this, there's this pose called camel, which is where your heart is, Bridget will be able to explain it better than me, is lifted higher than the rest of your body. I would start crying, and I was like, wow. So bad. And it's kind of at the end of the class, and everyone wants to talk to you after, like, Lola, what smoothie idea have you got? And I'm like,
I'm getting out of here.
I'm thinking about the breakup. And so it's emotional and spiritual. It's all this. Am I right about Camel?
Absolutely.
About
so Camel, you're opening up your heart, you're opening up your chest. It's we're so used to in our daily lives, everything's forward. You're driving cars, you're playing on your phone, everything's about hunching forward. And it's the first time you really open up. And it's also the deepest backward bend in the class as well.
Okay.
So the deepest backward bend, you open up your heart chakra and you really expose yourself. And when you get as deep into that posture as you can, it's very common to have an emotional release.
Wow. Right.
And it might not be crying, it could be laughter as well. You know, at teacher training with 400 people in the room, you see all types of things happen in Camel. Yeah,
well, maybe we have to have a look.
I want to see it.
Oh,
yes.
Have a look at Camel.
All right, well, we're gonna
do it?
Yeah, we're gonna get to the ground. We're going to get a mat, and we'll be back in a second. Now we're about to hit the mat, but before we do, Bridget's just got a couple of things she wants to mention about what a normal class and the role of the instructor might look like.
So the role of the instructor in a Bikram yoga class is really to talk the students through each posture so they can focus on themselves. Every student is different, everybody is different, and so we don't do the postures. We don't want to show a student how to do a posture. We want the student to get into the posture the best that they can based on their body, their injuries, whatever it is. So the main part of the class for the teacher is talking the students through getting in and out of the postures.
Okay, so you're a guide and you don't get down and do the postures on the mat.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to let Lola get down on the mat now. And Bridget's going to obviously, as you normally would in a class, instruct her through that. What's this called?
So we're going to do camel pose because we were just talking about that and it's one of Lola's favourites. So I will talk through camel pose the same way as I would if we were in a class. So Lola, come to the top of your mat and towel. It's great. So 6 inches apart between your knees and your feet. Get your hands on your hips, fingers facing down, thumbs on the outside. Push your hips forward, drop your head back as far as it goes. Look for the wall behind you. First, right hand down, grab your right heel, thumb outside, fingers inside. Left hand down, grab your left heel. Good. Full hands, palms grip. Take a deep breath, eyes open and push. Stomach, legs, hips, everything push forward. Everybody push. Push harder, push harder, push harder. 360 angle backward bending, push, push, push. Hands back to your hips, one at a time. Chest up, spine straight, come up, sit down, turn around, lie down, and relax in Savasana.
Awesome.
I feel like clapping.
So there's 26 poses in a class.
Wow. 26 postures. You do 2 sets of nearly every posture, yes.
Okay, fabulous.
I've got goosebumps. I'm just like, I'm really inspired to try it now. Like you said I would. I really
awesome. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to, you know, demonstrate this to our audience and let you know that it's you're not going to, you know, end up dehydrated or, you know, the instructors are here to really guide you through all of that. We'd love to hear about your experience with Bikram if you've tried it, if you haven't. So comment on the section below, share it with your friends, and thanks again for joining us today on Health Talks.